When it comes to snacking, few things beat homemade granola. So today I'm very excited to be teaming up with Blue Diamond Almonds to bring you 3 tasty granola recipes I think you're going to love. Today I'm going to show you how to make my apple cinnamon granola, an amazing cafe mocha granola, and finally we're going to make a savory smoky granola that you really have to taste to believe. So we're getting started today with my apple cinnamon granola. This granola is totally amazing because it tastes a little bit like apple pie. So we're getting started with some rolled oats in a bowl. Now it's important to use rolled oats in these recipes and not instant oats. There's a very big difference. So I've got my rolled oats in my bowl, and to that I'm going to be adding some spicy yumminess. So I'm adding some ground cinnamon, some ground ginger, and a little bit of nutmeg. I'm going to whisk this all together really well so my spices are well distributed, and then I'm going to mix up my wet ingredients. So I've got some unsweetened applesauce, and to that I am adding a little bit of maple syrup. I'm going to whisk this together and then pour it into my dry ingredients. I'm going to stir everything until my oats are well coated, and then I'm going to pour my oats onto a parchment-lined baking sheet. Into the oven these go at 325 for between 20 and 30 minutes. You want to make sure you stir them every 10 minutes or so they don't brown too quickly on one side. Once they're finished baking, you want to let them cool completely. Then we're going to finish them off by tossing them with some dried apple and these amazing Blue Diamond honey roasted cinnamon flavored almonds. All I've done is taken these yummy almonds and crushed them up with my rolling pin. They make the perfect addition to this granola. This yumminess can be eaten with yogurt or with a splash of milk as a breakfast cereal, or eaten entirely on its own. It's completely up to you. Next up, I'm going to show you my cafe mocha granola. What I love about this stuff is that it packs a little bit of a caffeine kick, so it's great to get you started in the morning. So we're getting started once again with our rolled oats in a bowl. To that, I'm going to be adding some cocoa powder and some instant espresso powder. You could also use some instant coffee granules if you prefer. Next, I'm going to mix up my wet ingredients. So I've got some melted coconut oil, and to that, I'm just going to mix in some maple syrup for sweetness. You could also do this with honey if you preferred. I'm going to stir my oats until they are well coated, and then I'm going to pour them on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Into the oven they go at 325 for between 20 and 30 minutes. Don't forget to stir them every 10 minutes so they cook evenly. Once the granola has cooled completely, we're going to toss it with some chocolate chips and these amazing Blue Diamond Cafe Mocha flavored almonds. This granola is the perfect pick-me-up for breakfast or for that afternoon slump. Finally today, I am very excited to share my recipe for my savory smoky granola. Now, I know it sounds a little unusual to do a savory granola as opposed to a sweet one, but I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I'm getting started once again with my rolled oats in a bowl, and to that I'm going to add a whole lot of flavor. So for some smokiness, I've got some smoked paprika, then I'm going to be adding some chipotle powder for a little bit of spice. I've got some garlic powder, and of course, a good helping of salt, because this is savory granola after all. I'm going to whisk all of this together so those spices are evenly distributed, and then I'm going to work on my wet ingredients. So I'm getting started by whisking up 1 egg white, and to that I'm going to add some olive oil and a little drizzle of maple syrup. The maple syrup adds just a touch of sweetness, but what it really does is help our granola get crunchy. I'm going to stir all my wet ingredients into my dry ingredients, and then once again I'm going to pour my granola out on a parchment-lined baking sheet, and then into the oven it goes at 325 for between 20 and 30 minutes. Make sure to toss it every 10 minutes so it cooks evenly. Once the granola has cooled completely, we are going to finish it off by tossing it with some roasted sunflower seeds and these amazing Blue Diamond Jalapeno Smokehouse almonds. I love these almonds because they are the perfect balance of smoky, spicy, and salty. All I've done is crush them up with my rolling pin, and they make the perfect addition to this granola. And there you have it, savory smoky granola, the perfect treat for your next snack attack. Remember that all of these recipes are listed in the description box below. All you need to do is click the Show More button. I hope you'll give these tasty recipes a try, and if you do, be sure to tweet or Instagram me a photo, because you know I love seeing what you're coming up with in your very own kitchens. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to The Domestic Geek, because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.